Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I'd like to welcome our new subscribers and also thank those of you who are returning for this week's energy update. We have a very powerful full moon this week in the sign of Leo, closing out some energy that started last August, I believe the 4th. But let's not jump ahead too much. The reason why I'm talking about it is this energy is already present. I'm beginning to feel it. And it could create some very uncomfortable situations that have you pivoting and changing direction in a moment's notice. Just recognize that if that were to happen in your world, that new direction is aligning with a higher level of consciousness for you. Also, if you are a Virgo or a Gemini, those are the Mercury ruled signs. Mercury is going to be on a little bit of a roller coaster this week. Just be aware of that. Again, the biggest note is to remain in heart-centered consciousness. And today's energy, let's talk about that. We did speak about it last week, but let's talk a little bit more about it. Today's energy is going to help us really envelop heart-centered consciousness, so absorb as much as you certainly can. Mars retrograde in the sign of Cancer is trining Saturn in Pisces. I really do like this energy. It is going to help us stay grounded over the course of the week as this tumultuous energy comes in. And it's very mature, it's very responsible, and it's very, like I said, heart-centered. And the moon is passing through and going to conjunct Mars today, if it hasn't already. And that's going to bring some emotional things to light or help us engage our emotions in this process. So certainly absorb as much of this energy. This configuration is going to continue through the week. So just know that we can tap into it if things start getting chaotic rather quickly. In addition today, Mercury, which is at 20 degrees of Aquarius, is connecting with the sun in a cazimi. We spoke about that. So everything's about truth and authenticity. Regardless of whatever comes up this week, truth and authenticity are the rule of thumb. It would be helpful to be open-minded because the sun in Aquarius and Mercury in Aquarius, it may be out of the box thinking, just needing us, requesting that we remain open-minded. As well, we will have Chiron at 19 degrees is going to sextile this cazimi. What I like about this is healing the need to substantiate your existence. There are synchronicities that are here, that's for sure. There could be news that comes in really quickly. And just think things through. Be open-minded and think things through, because the very next day, tomorrow, Monday, we will have that same Mercury that just conjunct with the sun, pulling away from the sun, is going to square Uranus and Taurus. And this can be travel disruptions, that's for certain, but it can be shocking truths or revelations around authenticity, there's that word again, and it's going to bring instability to various areas. It could be finance markets, it could be, obviously, earthquakes. There was a real big earthquake yesterday in the Canary Islands. This type energy with the sun as well, the very next day is going to square Uranus. It's going to bring instability to geomagnetics, earth events as well, because Uranus rules aviation. There could be additional aviation issues that pop up, but pay attention to truth, news, and information, because that's Mercury square Uranus. Be discerning, stay grounded. As I mentioned on Tuesday, the sun, which Mercury and the sun are nearly hand in hand, but Mercury's traveling a little quicker. The sun is now going to square, sun in Aquarius is going to square Uranus and Taurus. And this might trigger rebellion just for the sake of doing so. Very independent energy, that's for sure. Remain as flexible as you can. This is fixed energy that we're working with, and nobody wants to budge. With Aquarian energy being prominent here and the sun in Aquarius, know your essence, that's for sure. Be skeptical if you need to be. use discernment, but be skeptical and remain grounded. We can still tap into that Mars retrograde trine Cancer, that very internal energy that allows us to respond instead of react, responding in a way that's mature or just not responding at all. Let the information coming to light expand your consciousness. This can be very elevating energy. Something could just trigger a shock, but then as a result of that, it raises your level of consciousness. You're able to respond from a place of a very ascended, grounded manner that is rooted in reality, truth, and authenticity. Anywhere where you have been held back, this is going to Uranus wants to pull you through that wormhole really quickly, unstick you, and pull you forward. On the 12th, this energy is really going to kick in. So we're the two lunations of Mercury square Uranus, then the Sun square Uranus. Now the Moon is exactly across from the Sun and squaring Uranus at this full moon, at the time of the full moon in Leo. Again, closing out energy that began last August 4th. This energy is ruled by the Sun. The Sun is in its detriment across the sky, but that means there could be more than one person involved here, a partnership, let's just say. Leo energy is very courageous. It's very heart-centered, so it's not going to be difficult for us to root ourselves in that heart-centered consciousness. It can be very prideful. Let's just be mindful of the ego here. Leo energy that's out of control can be very ego-centered. We want to remain courageous, heart-centered, stand in our pride and with authenticism, but we want to be mindful of our ego. Just shed the ego, shed it completely. In any areas where it may be three-dimensional, that's for sure. We don't want to waste our essence. With the Sun being in Aquarius, we know our essence. We don't need to waste it on situations that are untruthful or rumors or just things that don't warrant a mature response. Just avoid it altogether. Again, this is very fixed energy. So it's somebody not budging, somebody not wanting to budge off a topic or a situation. And Uranus is creating havoc. So that happens. The Sun Mercury cazimi is still around. It's still there. Both the Sun and Mercury are carrying this message of truth and authenticity. So stand in your truth. There's truth that has significance here. It could be truth coming to light that creates ego-shedding closeouts. Very well could be. Now, we have the asteroid Ceres, which is at 24 degrees, which is going to conjunct the Sun as well as Mercury. Now, Ceres is all about care and nurturing and tending to things. So it's almost as if you are, or someone could be, upset because they weren't cared for or tended to. There was an expectation there by somebody else, and so they strike out. This could also mean to envelop your essence with healthy self-care. If someone's coming at you like this, be mindful and take care of your essence. Stand in your truth for certain, but heart-centered consciousness is what's needed here. And it may be to show the love to yourself, for sure. Eris is also working at this time. Eris is Mars' little sister. She is in Aries at 24 degrees, and she's creating a wedge of opportunity. She is going to be sextile the Sun and trining the Moon as she sits in Aries. And she is the street fighter of discord and chaos. She does not obey the rules. Equality at all costs must be the way of the day. And so we may want to crusade. Just be aware that this energy it's helping resolve the situation, but be a heart-centered crusader. Come from a place of love, unconditional love. Pride, yes, but heart-centered pride. And then we can crusade how we need to crusade, and how that would work best for the greater good of all. Again, Aquarius here, opposing Leo, but nonetheless, the Aquarian sun is asking us to understand our essence. Don't waste our essence in circumstances or situations that are polar opposite. We can definitely use the Saturn trine Mars retrograde energy to remain rooted in the heart-centered consciousness so that we can activate heartfelt actions, and we can trust the divine, because Saturn is in Pisces, and as mature as we can be and as trusting as we can be, we can also lean into our spirituality, lean into our intuition, and trust to the divine plan that it's bringing outcomes for our greatest good that's going to elevate our consciousness. As I mentioned, with this T-square that's occurring between the Sun, the Moon, and Uranus, Earth events are expected. Really, truly expect the unexpected wherever it happens to be. There could be financial structures that crumble. That's also a Taurian theme. And just truth about issues coming to light to just bust up stagnancy in fixed situations so that freedom and authenticity can reign. I do like this. It's going to take us all to a higher level of ascension. And it may be uncomfortable, but it is leveling us up. Then we close out the week with Mercury changing signs. So Mercury is leaving on Friday. Happy Valentine's Day. Mercury is leaving the sign of Aquarius and going into the sign of Pisces. This is a very creative place for Mercury to be. Mercury can be a little foggy here. It's in its detriment, so it's not very powerful here. It's not very strong here. But what it does allow us to do is tap into the wisdom of the ethereal. Your dreams may be very profound during this time. It is also great for daydreaming. If you are a creative person, great time for creativity. But just the only mindful piece I would add here is escapism is great. Escapism is great. Sometimes it helps us avoid mundane or get out of the mundane. But when escapism becomes a way of life to avoid circumstances, that's when it's a problem. So as much as the unconscious is easy to tap into, just be mindful of getting lost in escapism in the process. But boundaries can also be blurred under this influence, so just be aware of that. Well, that's all I have for you this week. I decided to use the Dragon Oracle cards this week because it's a Leo full moon, and that's my go-to deck for fire signs. So anyway, the card that jumped out is the Golden Crested Dragon. Let's see what the book has to say. Golden crested dragons are fifth-dimensional dragons with huge golden energy fields. They can access the Christ light of unconditional love at a ninth-dimensional frequency, which is the highest facet of love energy that is available to us at this time, and pour it into us at the maximum level we can absorb. They will come to us on our birthday or special occasion or celebrations and flood us with the cosmic gift of their special light. They will also come to us if we call them. Then they will surround our aura and with their protective golden light, enabling us to remain fifth dimensional. For guidance, let's read forward. You are blessed to receive this card, for the luminous golden crested dragons will automatically flood you with the purest Christ light. They will remind you that your heart is incredibly powerful and will pour love into the center of it in order to open it further. Be ready to accept this love and then to spread it to others. These dragons also come to remind you that you have a special connection to the golden era of Atlantis. This may have been incarnation or in your spirit body. It's time to remember who you truly are. So ask the golden crested dragons to help you bring back your gifts and talents in your dream state. What the golden crested dragons give to you, you can pass on to others. So radiate the golden energy of the Christ to those with whom you are in contact today. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked this video, please do click the like button. If you want to know when videos are being dropped, please click the subscribe button. If you have any comments or suggestions, please post them in the comment box below. I always like to hear from you. Let's say this week is going to be a little pivotal, perhaps, a little tumultuous, perhaps, but it's certainly going to bring us to a higher level of consciousness. Stay heart-centered. In that heart-centered energy, use that beautiful Leo prideful energy to remain heart-centered. I wish you the best week of ascension. Maybe tumultuous, but it's for the purpose of ascension. Namaste.